Concerns whatsoever at any point. Fun fact for you about boats, we actually use your body weight to help distribute or balance out the boat, so please do remain seated. In a narrow boat called the Fallona, and the Fallona used to be moored in Camden, and it was used in the 1993 Blood in Her Eyes music video. What do you use it for? The slightly younger versions of them are more grey in colouring, and the absolute babies of them have the blackish colouring with the tiny little feathery red heads. Well, that's where things get really interesting, folks, because they would have actually unharnessed or unattached the horse from this side. One crew member would have walked over the tannoy and trying to get you to hear me. I'll allow you to enjoy the experience. So I think some of us might be able to deduce what was the thing to explode in the end. It wasn't the coffee. And as we get closer to Macclesfield Bridge, on the left-hand side, just before we get to the bridge, please look for the tree with the biggest trunk, and you will see a gash going through that tree. That's because at the time of this explosion, that tree was just a baby sapling, and not only did it survive, but as you can tell, it continued to grow and thrive ever since. Keep looking on the left-hand side, and the very last cast iron pillar, you will see the notches and grooves of all of the years and decades of pulling along the ropes and the friction rubbing against these cast iron pillars now. Temporary accommodation for the zoo staff, so if an animal is sick or pregnant and they need to have a bit of extra TLC, then the zoo staff can stay a little bit closer by. And just up ahead of us here we have the Cumberland turn that we're going to be approaching. You may even hear a horn sound off pretty soon. That's just to let other boats on the navigation know that we will be making a turn here, so we don't blindside anyone. But some of my historians on board would know that this is actually used to be called the Cumberland Arm. It used to continue straight on ahead of us up to the Cumberland Market. But in World War II, this section was so heavily bombed, there it goes, that it actually was filled in with rubble from the Blitz, that entire section. So that's why we can't continue on there anymore. We turn to the left here, hence the Cumberland turn. And when we do make that turn, some of the front of the ship may have already seen it now, but it'll be coming by on our right-hand side. It's the three-tiered red crickets. It's a favourite of Paul McCartney's, but way more interesting than that is it's a favourite of many different breeds of birds, including today we have a heron perched outside the front of it, you can see, as well as some Egyptian geese. They look a little bit like their Canadian geese counterparts, but blonde versions. We also have some classic coots that I described before with the black feathers and the white beaks, and we've got a classic mallard ducks coming towards us now. Herons look a little bit like pterodactyls, but they're more grey in colouring. And as we go up underneath this bridge, if you look on the left-hand side, you will see the absolute final nod that we have to the zoo church, to the zoo, sorry, oh, little spoiler for you there, because this is called the zoo church. It's called the zoo church because of the zoo animals that are depicted on the stained glass windows. But its official name is St. Mark's Church. And my historians on board would also know that this was very heavily bombed in World War II. It was specifically the Battle of Britain that reduced this to rubble entirely. You'll notice that it was rebuilt since then, and now they've modernised it with a cafe in its grounds. This is the electric barge. That's where you can drink, as you can tell, and do events on board. Baby boat, the propeller at the back has a nest. That's a coot's nest. We may even see some baby coots a little bit further up we do have, again, people who own the house, the garden, the private and direct mooring onto Regent's Canal, as well as the boat at the bottom, which none of them will be expected to move. So we're talking about properties beginning at £5 million upwards. And if you keep looking on the right-hand side, through those white railings up at the balcony, you may see a friend. Are continuous cruises. It's actually a fully registered charity to this day. They help provide people with access to water sports as well as water safety courses, and they've recently started doing some paddleboard yoga on the weekends if anyone's interested in that. If you ever see anyone on the water in any of these kayaks or canoes, those are technically pirates, so make sure you steer clear, but at least give them an R while you're passing by. Coming underneath this bridge now. When we do, we'll look to the left-hand side as soon as we come out of the bridge, and you'll see a brown brick building. This is Henson House. It's named after Jim Henson, who was the creator of the Muppets. He not only made and repaired those puppets up there on the 3rd floor, for some of my Star Wars fans on board. I'm so sorry, it's not from the original series, but Baby Yoda was also made up there on the 3rd floor.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mandy. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, dat is niet waar. Ik heb
And we're heading towards Shalbear Bridge. This carries one of 8. Last little glimpse here on the right hand side. It's about to open up and you'll see one last little